Hi y'all! It's really rainy outside today, so I think it's a really good day to put in seeds inside. My daughter and I planted broccoli about a week ago, but then we decided we're going to put in more beds outside this year, so we're going to need more broccoli. So I use the soil blocking technique, which means that I have a soil blocker. Ta-da! And I mix together some potting soil and some peat moss. I didn't know about how terrible peat moss is for the environment until after I bought it, so I'm gonna use this up and then I'll switch to coconut coir probably. But so you mix some potting soil. And I'm mixing a decent amount because I'm gonna go ahead and mix it for the plants I'm gonna plant in a week or two when my seeds come in. Because I promised myself I wasn't going to buy more seeds this year, because I have plenty of seeds. But, well, we have some friends who are moving in with us in about a month, because together we're all saving up to do co-housing together. But in the meantime, their daughter is my daughter's best friend, and my son loves her too and thinks of her as a sister. And so they're moving in with us because we have about 3,000 square feet here. For some reason, probably because it's a really old house, it was pretty cheap when we bought it. And so they're moving in with us, and they garden too. So between all of us, there's lots of things we want to grow. And I was like, I'm not going to buy any more seeds this year, but then, you know, there were more seeds I wanted. And more seeds my friend wanted. So I ordered more seeds last night. I think I kept it mostly reasonable. I only ordered like 8 more packs. And I've been wanting to grow ground cherries, and Ellie, my friend, really wants to grow ground cherries too. So we're planting those, and there were some varieties of peppers that I would like to grow as well. So I just used this old bin that had kids' toys in it for a while, and I'm gonna mix up the soil in here. I just use random little kids cultivator that I got from my daughter at Target, and I keep up here because it's easy to use. When I'm stirring it around, I go ahead and pull out any big chunks of bark and stuff, because that generally makes it harder when I'm doing my actual seed blocking. Then I pour in some water. Start with a random amount of water, stir it up, see if you need more. You want it wet enough to stick together really well, but not so wet that when you put it into the blocks, it won't stick. So that was definitely nowhere near enough water. I'll let y'all see that. So, as you can probably see now, this is still super dry. As you can see, this is super dry still. So I'm definitely going to add in some more water. And stir that around. And I'll keep doing this until it's a nice consistency for soil blocks. So yeah, I'm going to mix this up and probably add more water and keep mixing because, like I said, I put in a lot of soil this time. I'm going to be planting a lot of things. I also splurged a little bit and ordered myself a heat germination mat because I have had zero luck growing peppers from seed when I've planted them inside. And I really want to grow peppers outside, but I don't want to try starting them outside because then they don't have time to get all the way grown and produce peppers for me. So I spent the $30 and got the germination mat, and it should be here in about a week. Maybe a little more. So my friends moving in is the other reason why we wanted to put in more beds this year, because my 4 beds are a decent size, and so I have enough room to grow most of what I want, but not in the amounts I want. Hopefully, with more beds, that will give me the space to grow the amounts I want as well. Because 3 tomato plants is great, but who would disagree that 20 tomato plants isn't better? So yeah, mixing this all up. Again, I might still need a little more water. Yeah, needs a little more water. They say you're looking for like a brownie consistency, and that you want like a lot of water to come out when you put the soil blocker in, but I don't generally find that that's true for me, and it might just be because of the combination of soil that I use. Most soil blocking recipes are a lot more complicated. I've had great luck with this one so far, gotten great seedlings. I just got the natural and organic potting mix plus fertilizer from Black Gold, which was at my local nursery shop. It was pretty much the only one they had, so it wasn't an issue. And then some peat moss, but I'm, like I said, not great for the earth, not as renewable as I thought. So, gonna do something else next time. But it's a giant container and will probably serve me for like 5 or 6 years, unless I really start growing a lot more plants. Cool, so this is starting to be more where I like it. Time to pull out a big piece of bark. Don't need that. So this is about what I'm looking for it to be mixed up, sticking together pretty well, all that dark brown color. Then I'm gonna grab the container. I don't actually use seed flats because I have random plastic containers from other things that work just fine. So this was the base to a message cookie that I picked up at the grocery store because I really wanted that giant chocolate chip cookie at one point. I also use a container from some croissants that my friend Ellie brought to our house for a birthday party last year, and some random food containers. Pretty much, I'm just not picky about the containers I use. It doesn't seem to matter much. So then I just scrape all of it to one side. Pull my sleeves up, try not to get dirt all over my sweater. Take the seed blocker, push it down in. Kind of like when you're making biscuits, except you twist it a lot more. When you're making biscuits, you don't want to twist it. Then I just push it out over here. So I've got this, and I'm going to push it down. See what I've got? Not enough. So I'm just going to keep doing that, pushing it down. There are plenty of videos that will walk you through the exact how-tos for this, so I'm not going to focus on that. But the idea is just to get yourself nice little blocks that all have an indentation on top. Make sure you scrape off the bottom of the blocks if they're too big. Easy to reuse the blocks if something doesn't sprout, and also they come apart easily. So for instance, I can start a bunch of bunching onions in one of them, and it'll be fine for me to pull them apart when it's time to transplant. Tea time. I'm a huge fan of having hot tea around, like, all the time. So now I'm going to plant some broccoli in here. I think I'm going to do 8 more broccoli, probably. That sounds good. So I'm going to do these first 8. 8 are broccoli. then in a little bit I'm going to put some bunching onions in some of the others, I think. So first I'll cover them up. A little bit of dirt for everybody. This is my first year growing broccoli, so I'm kind of just hoping for the best. I grew bunching onions last year and had a really good crop, and they were delicious and really easy because you can just clip off the greens, eat them, and then the next time you need more, you come out and they've grown more for you again. So that's always really exciting. We're growing a lot of new crops this year, actually. I'm really excited to try ground cherries. Jess from Roots and Refuge Farm is always talking about how delicious ground cherries are, and Ellie really wants to grow them. So I'm planning on growing them this year too. So these are the bunching onion seeds I use. I got them from Southern Exposure Seed Exchange. I get most of my seeds either from Southern Exposure Seed Exchange, Eden Brothers, or So True Seeds because I'm in North Carolina, so it makes sense to get more local seed varieties. So far I've had good luck with all the seeds. Not as good luck with the peppers, but I'm pretty sure that that's because I was starting them without anywhere near enough heat because I'm in my sunroom right now and it stays warmer in here than it does outside, but not by much. I had to stop writing my morning pages in here last winter around this time because it was getting really cold and my pen wasn't working right, and then I suddenly realized that my ink was freezing. So, word to the wise, don't try to write with the ballpoint pen when it's below freezing. So for my bunching onions, instead of putting a seed in the hole of each one, I go ahead and fill in the holes. Then I get a bunch of the seeds and I kind of scatter them across the top of each block, going for like 10 or so seeds a block, something like that. Because then when they're bigger, I can just break the seed block apart. Break the soil block apart and transplant each of them just with a pencil out in my garden. It's kind of hard to see the seeds on these soil blocks, so I'm having to pay attention to which one I've already done. Green onions are delicious and they are incredibly easy to grow. I mean, if nothing else, you take ones you've already gotten. You cut off the greens and use them in your recipe, and then you put the whites in some water and they'll grow for you. They will regrow you new greens and they'll keep doing that as long as you give them fresh water. I have a bunch of those over on the other side of this little area where I garden in here. So yeah, I sprinkle those seeds all along the seed blocks, and then I just put more soil on top of them. So I'm trying that this year. Like I said, bunching onions are really easy to grow, so I don't expect it to be a problem. While I'm planting, I want to tell y'all about my favorite garden site, Roots and Refuge Farm with Jess Sowers. She is absolutely amazing, has given me so much inspiration and so many ideas for growing things. My arched cattle panel trellises outside are 100% because of her, because I wanted to grow vertically, but I hadn't found a solution I liked and that I could afford until I saw her video on those. And then I was sold. They're gorgeous, they work really well, and my plants loved them. So pretty much I'm putting up a bunch more this year. There we go, all tucked in. So once I've done that, I don't think I'm gonna need to label these for now, but I probably will later, just to keep track. But the two types of plants look very different. Broccoli and bunching onions look entirely different. So I'm not too worried about forgetting which one's which. And I have my other broccoli labeled, so I should be able to go, ah, that looks like that one. Then again, sometimes I forget, and I've gotten different plants mixed up. My daughter Catherine wanted to help me plant today, but she got distracted running off to go play with her dad, so you'll have to meet her another time. Both of my kids are really excited about this YouTube channel. One, because my son thinks being on YouTube is the coolest thing ever, and my daughter just because she's a ham and likes being on videos, which makes sense to me. Drama runs in the family. So here are my seed blocks with their seeds. It's kind of hard to see without tilting them too much. But I'm really excited to see all my plants grow this year. That's it for now. I hope you'll have an awesome day, and I'll see you later. Bye.